You're listening to the Daily Haul, thoughts beyond the cart. And it's okay to shop too much if you know how to shop smart. There are promo codes and coupons you can use, and you get yourself for profit. There's no crying the blues. Now with great pleasure to you, I bring the website where you'll find your next favorite thing. You shop too much.com. You shop too much.com. You shop too much fun. Vintage treasures need a home. You'll find them here, my dear. You shop too much.com. It's true. Your next favorite bauble is right here waiting for you.
Hello, and welcome back to the Daily Haul, Thoughts Beyond the Cart. I'm your host, Sunshine, and we're doing something a little different. I don't know if anyone is keeping track, but today I'm recording my show on Sunday. Yesterday got away from me. I was supposed to be getting a little doggy. I was cleaning all day, and then evening when I, would normally record the show. Look, it was a lot. Yesterday was a lot. So here we are back at it, trying again, trying to be consistent. And I don't want to leave people hanging with these emails. That's like the most important thing, is to get an answer to people quickly. So here we go. And as always, we are your source for advice on reselling, saving money, navigating customer interactions, and so much more. The show today is being sponsored by our own website, youshoptoomuch.com, and we are your home for curated finds and vintage treasures. Our item of the week is called Groundbreaking Glitter. It is a really pretty necklace with blue and green gemstones on it. And you will be able to find the link to that item and the full store right here in the show notes. So, as Fizz-A would say, let's jump into it like a car in drive. All right, so this email is coming to us from Marcus T. And his subject line is financial infidelity or just a hobby. He writes, Sunshine, I think I'm in trouble. My girlfriend and I moved in together 6 months ago. We agreed to split rent 50-50, but she's been short the last 2 months, so I've been covering for her. She says she's had some medical bills. Well, a statement came in the mail for a credit card I didn't know she had. I didn't mean to snoop, but it was open on the counter. Sunshine, she has spent over $4,000 in the last 3 months on vintage porcelain dolls. Our spare closet is literally floor to ceiling dolls I've never seen because she keeps the door locked. She's lying about her money so she can haul toys while I struggle to pay the electric bill. Is this a breakup worthy offense, or is it just a shopping addiction? Signed, Marcus. Okay, so good Lord. I think I don't want you to approach it with anger at all, regardless of the situation, whether it was a shopping addiction. Yeah, she kept it from you, but it's not worth anger. I would approach the situation, first of all, with curiosity, because one thing about where one person will see someone being a hoarder and they'll think, oh, this is a terrible situation. As a reseller, I can tell you, you don't know what you're sitting on. You do not know what you're sitting on. And the fact that you've used the word vintage in the sentence tells me that what she's got may be worth something. Let me stop. I hope the first part of this recorded because my microphone is adjusted pretty weird, but I digress. So instead of flipping out on her, I would do a little more snooping. I mean, you say you didn't mean to snoop. Well, start snooping now. Start snooping now, because what you want to do is I would take photos of a few of the dolls and do your research. Check to see what these dolls sell for, what they sold for. Like, I've said before that you don't want to look at what the potential is. You want to look and see what's happening. What are people getting for this doll right now in real time? She may be short now. She may have you struggling now, but the potential, for this to turn into something big, is there. Now, the other thing to consider, though, is if she'll keep this from you, she'll keep a situation where she's in debt from you, will she keep the sale from you? So the lying part, or the omission, the hiding things from you part, that's problematic, period. Because she could be well-intentioned, She may think, okay, I'm doing this now, but once I sell these dolls, I want to hook him up. But just to play it on the other side, what if she didn't? What if she sold the dolls, got big money, and didn't tell you anything? Right now you have the upper hand because you know something that she doesn't know you know. And so I would do my research and I would sit back and wait. If you see dolls start disappearing out of the closet and you find out these dolls who are in the closet are worth something and they start disappearing and she starts showing up with other things, well, now we have a problem. Now we need to have a serious sit-down conversation because you shouldn't be footing the bill for her unless that's going to be, if that's the understanding. But she went into this with you with 50-50 and she agreed to do that. I've mentioned this before. When I met my husband and he moved into my house, he was, I'm splitting things 50-50. And he was like, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it when you're in a relationship. But that's his upbringing. You know what I'm saying? My point is that a lot of people do that. And if that's what you go into it with, then that's the way it should be. And so that is the two of you. That's your agreement, and that's what she should be doing. So we got to look at this in two different ways. Either she's waiting to make a come up so she can share with you, or she's waiting to make a come up so she can do more things that you don't know about. Or I've seen people make a come up and roll out. But again, this is your opportunity to do your research and to sit back and watch and see how the situation pans out. I would not go and verbally attack her and accuse her of hiding things or anything like that. Just wait to see and check the value. If you have a closet full of dollar vintage dolls and she's spending $4,000 for them and they don't have any future potential for earning, then I would, what are you doing? What is going on? Do we need to talk to someone about this? What is the problem? Because some people are just selfish. I know someone personally who, he was in a very same situation. This young man, he's in the military, and then he left the military and he met this young lady and they fell for each other. And because, he is the type to pay everything, that's just what he did. He was paying for everything and he was taking care of her. Well, she has a good job. She's a teacher. And he knew she had money, but, he didn't expect her to give him much. She would buy dinner here and there, or she would do little things, and he was cool with that until he found a bank statement. And in this bank statement, she had $25,000 just sitting in the bank. And the messed up part about it is that there was a time when something happened with his money and he didn't get his pension check, or there was some payment that he was getting, and he had to struggle for like a couple of months, things were off. And she was sitting on this money, and she never told him a thing. She never offered him a dime. She watched him struggle as though she had nothing. Just, oh, I'm so sorry this is happening. I wish I could do something. Oh, this is terrible. And the way he found out was just crazy, because she was getting something out of her purse, and the old, paper flies out of her purse. He picks it up and he looks at it, and she goes to grab it, and he's, snatches it back. Like, wait a minute. Like, is this a bank statement? And sure enough, it was. It was a bank statement, and she was sitting on a nice amount of money, and he became irate, rightfully so. I would have been pissed. I would have been hotter than fish grease. Do you hear me? I'm sitting here struggling, and you're sitting on a large amount of money. And she didn't even say, oh no, this is earmarked for something that we're going to do in the future, or I'm saving this for us. She said to him, I didn't have to tell you anything. My parents told me that I should always have money set to the side. And my parents told me not to tell you about it. What? Like, you said the quiet part out loud, ma'am. I would not have said that. Why would you say that to your man? Because, you're telling them you're not following their lead. They told you to keep your mouth shut. So now what has happened is she has caused a rift between the parents and her man. And so, like, what? Just say that, I was saving it, whatever. But she just compounded the problem. Needless to say, those two are not together anymore. That did not work out, because if she would hide something like that, in this situation, she was hiding it maliciously, or not even maliciously. She was hiding it without any regard for his, situation, or their situation as a couple. Regardless of what happens to them as a unit, she was still like, I am not coming up off of this money. And so you got to find out, is that the situation you're in? What type of person is she? Now, if we look at the timetable, the two of you moved in just 6 months ago. 2 of the 6 months you've been covering for her. You all haven't even been together for a year, and this is already happening. And then if you just moved in 6 months ago, and the spare closet is already filled to the top with dolls, let's just break down the months. You moved in 6 months ago. You've covered her for the past 2 months. But in the past 3 months, she spent $4,000 on dolls. They better be worth something. These dolls better be worth something, because, do you see what I'm saying? Like, for 3 months, she's just been balling out. I'm quite sure you could have used $4,000 toward the bills. That is crazy. Why not give you some money and spend $2,000 on dolls? Spend $1,000 on dolls, if that was your agreement. Now, if you had moved in and you said, oh no, I got everything, you spend your money on you cover your cell phone, you cover whatever. And then you come out to her, like, hey, and even in that situation, if she has a lot of extra money like this, to, $4,000 just sitting around, which that's not a lot of money to a lot of people, but the very least she should have been able to give you like $1,000, but she can't, because she's got it locked up in dolls. I might even do my research on the dolls, get the value of the dolls. I would print out, hey, this particular doll just sold for yada, yada, yada. This doll sold for da, 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 da. Are you about to list these? Are you on Mercari? Are you on Mercari? Are you on eBay? Are you on OfferUp? What are we doing here? what is happening. And not for nothing, that's a lot of space to take up. Like, why a whole closet for dolls? We would, even if the money wasn't an issue, the space is an issue itself. So we would have a problem. But the biggest problem of all, and the biggest problem, it can really just spiral, is the fact that she has been lying. If you'll lie about dolls, what else is she lying about? And she didn't just say, I don't have money. She crafted a story. She said she had medical bills. Does she have medical bills? Does she not have medical bills? $4,000. I don't know how, what the amount of the medical bills, but $4,000 would pay for medical bills. So see, we have a bigger problem. You need to do your research, get the value of the dolls, get everything lined up, do some printouts, and I would pick a day, and I would find a nice, moderate restaurant where it's not super crowded, where you can't hear each other, not, so empty that y'all could show out and no one would know. I would find a place with enough patrons to where we know we have to behave ourselves. I would bring a folder and I would have it sitting on the table, and we would have our dinner. And as we're having our dinner, I would present some information. I would say, hey, I wanted to talk to you, because you want to give some information, do it in a restaurant. People are less likely to show out in a restaurant. Or another good place is a library. Go to the library. From children, we are trained to be quiet in a library. Nobody is going to flip out in a library. And we would just have to have a conversation. And I would say, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And I would definitely make the statement, hey, if you're lying to me about this, you say you've had medical bills. Do you really have medical bills? Is this all part of the lie? If I can't trust you with something this simple, and we're just 6 months into this thing, what chance do we have for longevity? What are we doing? Because better to get this out the way now than to get 10, 12 years down the line and then find out that you're with someone who you don't even know. Don't do that to yourself. And if she'll lie about dolls, she'll lie about medical bills, she'll lie about money, who knows what else is going on. So I wish you well, Marcus. I hope things work out. I hope that she is trying to surprise you. I hope she's about to sell these dolls and make you whole, and the two of you have a wonderful life together. But on the off chance that it doesn't work out that way, I wish you well. And to my listeners, if you have a question, comment, or even if you have a question about any of the emails that I've read so far, please hit me up at ifshoppingwascardio@gmail.com. Again, that was ifshoppingwascardio@gmail.com. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, like the video. Again, I will be including a video component here, hopefully sooner than later, but I'm really just enjoying, reading these emails and communicating with people. I'm happy to get another shopping, an email related to shopping. For a minute there, I've been getting a lot of relationship stuff, and that's fine. That's cool. I will take whatever I can get, because I'm sure there will be some weeks when I may not have an email to read, and that's cool. I'm planning on doing series on POTS, which is a condition that I have, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. There are a lot of people who don't even know what it is in 2026. And it is one of those invisible illnesses. It deals with the autonomic nervous system. A lot of people believe that POTS is solely related to the heart, but it actually isn't. It is not a heart condition at all. It is a condition of the autonomic nervous system. It just so happens that the heart is affected by that system. And the autonomic nervous system is the system in our body that deals with the things that we do not control. So like our breathing, our temperature, just things that just happen automatically. So I was thinking about doing a series on that as well. So who knows where we'll go with this thing. One thing we do know is that we're going to be consistent. So when you come here weekly, there should be something new for you to listen to. All right. Y'all stay blessed, and I will see y'all next week at checkout. Bye. Okay. Show's over, but I'm back because I just had an afterthought, and I want everyone to think about this. What if she wanted to be found out? I almost feel like the closet door is open, the statement's out. Maybe she was just tired of holding on to the secret, and she's ready to have a conversation, but she doesn't know how. Just a thought. If anybody else thinks the same thing, hit me in the comments and let me know. But that just was kind of bothering me. And so I just wanted to add that after the show was over. All right. I will see y'all next week.